crowd and some of the people that are around. It's incredible to see just how many law enforcement vehicles are out there, but then also just the people on the side that are out there to support as well. And there are people that have come from all over East Tennessee to say thank you. And you know, Harry, on Friday when they transported his body from Knox County forensics all the way to the funeral home in Loudon, you know, then it seemed like there was an outpouring of support.
Right.
And now what we're seeing today,
even more.
It's no shock to any of us that East Tennessee and law enforcement showed up in these numbers.
Right, and school, you talked about this earlier, school obviously would have been out for the day already, but classes canceled in Loudon County, so if there was any need that people needed to make arrangements for that, they could make it here and go to the memorial if they were allowed to, but at the very least, say their thank you on Highway 11 and right by the high school and by Memorial Gardens and all throughout Loudon County, where they will take Sgt Jenkins. Just remarkable.
And the principal there at Loudon High School saying that he wanted to make sure that students were able to be present for the day's services and everything, and this procession specifically happening through downtown Loudon. And if you're not from East Tennessee, every single community here this would be happening in every single community.
Exactly. And especially with the principal talking about with this happening at the high school, Sgt Jenkins is one of their own, not just one of Loudon County's own, but one of Loudon High School's own, being a 1992 graduate of Loudon High. So
yeah, and he worked his way up through the ranks. Originally he served, and then he decided to get into law enforcement, and he started as a patrol deputy in the early 2000s, and then he gradually worked his way up to canine officer, and he had at least 2 dogs. We know Diego, who retired and then passed away, and then Deja was his most recent canine, and then within the last year promoted to sergeant. And on top of his duties throughout LCSO, he was a father and a brother and a fiance.
Yes.
And he really touched so many people in this community.
Yeah, started as a corrections officer, a corrections deputy with Loudon County, then moved on to patrolman, ultimately a canine officer, rising to the rank, ultimately a canine officer, rising to the rank of sergeant and supervisor. He served with LCSO for 20 years. He's a 1992 graduate of Loudon County High School, an Air Force veteran. We heard from his son Clay, who is a deputy at Loudon County and the sheriff's office there. And he said he's ready to go back to work on Monday, and he said you will not see anyone work harder than him representing his dad, you know, sharing that name Jenkins and knowing what that meant to everyone before Clay got there. And he said he's going to try to make it mean even more.
Yeah, you're seeing some of these cruisers. I've seen Madisonville, that one is Athens, Jefferson City Police, even some fire trucks coming through as well, Pigeon Forge, Sevier County. I mean, the list goes on and on, just coming out in droves to show support. And that doesn't even take into account the officers that came from North Carolina to help patrol Loudon County, because that still is continuing on, so that the Loudon County officers today could be a part of these services and memorials.
Also, people manning the jail in Loudon County, just making sure everyone can get out, like you said, and I don't think that the sheriff, Tim Guider, could have said thank you enough, and how much it meant to him and the rest of the department that they were all able to get out and be with their brothers and sisters on this. Taking another look down in downtown Loudon, where you can see all the people still lining up, the American flags waving loud and proud as they still wait for that procession to get underway.
Yeah, in Loudon County, it's a beautiful downtown area, not too big, but to see so many people shows you just the support that's happening here. And that is something that every single person who spoke today at the memorial thanked everyone for the support. They're all supporting each other at this point as well, including Sheriff Tim Guider, who said that he was amazed by all the assistance that the department has seen so far. And he said Chris inspired so many people, and that it was really something to see. He said his fellow deputies loved him, and then Sheriff Guider said I loved him, and reminded everyone to pause, slow down, and enjoy life, and tell your loved ones you love him. And this was love them. This was coming from Sheriff Tim Guider during that memorial service. that started around 1 o'clock. It went for about an hour and a half, and just it was a really beautiful, beautiful tribute to this fallen sergeant here in Loudon County.
Here's another look at Loudon High School, where we're still just a couple minutes away from everything stepping off. It'll go from the Loudon High School gym down Highway 11. They'll head to the Loudon County Justice Center. That's where the caissons will be, as well as the other K-9 deputies, as they transfer the casket of the body to that caisson unit. They will then walk on foot while Sgt Jenkins is taken by that horse-drawn carriage. They'll continue on foot. We've been told it's about half a mile all the way down to Memorial Gardens in Lenoir City. That's where there will be a 21-gun salute from Metro Nashville Police. Taps, pipes, and drums played by agencies out of Shelby County and Memphis. Flyover by KCSO, Lifestar, THP, and numerous other agencies. We've heard that at least 7 different agencies will be represented in that flyover.
And that is the burial there will be for law enforcement and family only. The family did tell us that we could stream this for you all at home, also to help get the word out for those of you who wanted to be part of this procession along Highway 11 here today. And you can see it seems like there's more and more people that are coming out as they're seeing this happen. And, you know, part of the procession came through, and we are still waiting on the other half, but hundreds and hundreds of cars in Loudon High School's parking lots. So, of course, that is something that's going to take some time to get through the city.
Get everything sorted out. You heard them releasing the K-9 officers first, followed by all of the representatives from agencies out of state and out of the city before they could let everyone else go and sort of try to get out in some sort of a timely fashion to make room for the family and everyone else getting out as they head on this procession. You can see just on the highway, on Highway 11, where you can see all those deputies and different agencies lined up, still waiting for that hearse to leave the high school and the rest of the family to be right behind them.
Yeah, Sgt Jenkins was only 48 years old. He had a son who was a member of the force, LCSO, who was a deputy there, as well as a daughter. Her name is Chloe. And so we are going to show you some of that memorial service there and waiting to get some of that for you here as we also wait for this procession to continue on this afternoon. And we will keep this for you as it goes through the Loudon community. And some of the people who spoke this afternoon, obviously fellow members of LCSO who knew Sgt Chris Jenkins well. Many of them said they can't remember what life was like before Sgt Jenkins. Even Governor Bill Lee there in person to speak and as part of this memorial and share his condolences with the community. He said that he not only served Loudon County, but he also served the entire country, and that is definitely true. You can see here come some of those motorcycle units as well as some other patrol units coming through. It's kind of split up into different sections here, as it's a pretty long route to get through Highway 11 all the way. Not too long, but it is. Those streets are shut down, so this could happen. Yeah,
shut down, pretty narrow streets as well. You can see everyone kind of getting ready, taking a look back in at Loudon High School, where they're still just waiting for a few more things before they get underway. But we do have a bunch of reporters and cameras out for you that will be checking in throughout this procession as it gets underway, taking Sgt Chris Jenkins through Loudon County.
And then once they get to Memorial Gardens, they will have a 21-gun salute. Metro Nashville PD is part of that. Of course, TAPS and Shelby County will be part of that. So, you know, one of the things that the sheriff said is that every corner of the state is here to help, from Shelby County to Sullivan County, and he said that's, you know, Memphis to Bristol. Tennessee is a very long state. That's a lot of miles to cover. So it is really, that just goes to show the kind of support that Loudon County is getting. And I forgot to mention there, the flyover also done by Knox County Sheriff's Office, Lifestar, and Tennessee Highway Patrol, who was there on the day of this tragic accident. So you're taking a live look here at downtown Loudon County. We are waiting for that hearse to leave Loudon High School, as well as the family there for this procession to continue on throughout the county this afternoon. And you can see here, you're taking a live look. Those K-9 units are now getting out right along the road there as part of this procession. So when that hearse comes through, these are all K-9 units that are all lined up here right along the side of the road. And that is part of that procession to honor Sgt Jenkins, who was a K-9 officer himself.
And our Jared Austin is there. Jared, if you can hear us and kind of describe a little bit of more what you see on the screen. Not sure if he can hear us right now. We will check in with him coming up in just a bit once we get him out there. But you can see, like Casey said, those K-9s getting ready. All of them will be lined up here. This is where they'll make that switch to the caisson unit.
And yeah, he's moving that camera for us to show us what's happening. You can see the flag on that side as well. And taking you back to Loudon High School, you can see that that is underway to get going here in just a few minutes. And as we wait for that procession to get going, we do want to go back out to the bridge area that is also part of the procession that is coming through, where our Ashley Boley has been live for us. And the people out there, Ashley, continue to come out. And, you know, we're taking some views of downtown as well. And it looks like more and more people. What are you seeing from where you are?
Yeah, Casey, there are quite a few people coming out now. And yeah, I mean, I'm literally working on my scripts for the shows, writing how people are coming by on their lunch breaks, as well as, you know, spending hours out here, kind of like you guys have been mentioning. Let me just step out of the way just to show you all some of the support that we're seeing. We have people from just families, because kids are out of school today. We have former police officers themselves, hence the Back the Blue flags, that support, and then current first responders with the Loudon Fire Department here as well. They set up that big flag that's just been kind of hanging and waving here today, waiting as different law enforcement agencies are coming through and making their way through that procession. So we're just continuing to see a lot of different stuff. You know, something earlier today that I saw, there was a group of kids out here. They were able to just kind of make some signs and show off some of that good stuff, that they wanted to thank Sgt Jenkins and send love to his family. So this is something that's not just, you know, of people, of adults, but kids are getting in on this as well and showing off, you know, what they can do for their own school resource officers. One of the parents told me that she works at an elementary school in this area, and they were writing notes to their school resource officer thanking them for their service, you know, for what they do day in and day out, because I think that so often we get caught up in the day-to-day, that thank you and I'm proud of you can go so far to a lot of these people. So this is just some sights that I've been seeing out here so far today. A lot of somber moments, a lot of just kind of quiet and peace as we're waiting for the procession to continue.
Definitely a somber day. Our Ashley Boley reporting for us live. Thank you for that report there from the bridge. And we'll check back in with her as this procession continues on. But taking another look at where that Justice Center Memorial has been all week long. This is kind of in that area, Sugar Limb Road, Highway 11. You can see people are out in that area. Also taking a live look now at Loudon High School as we wait for this section of the procession to continue on. And we do want to show you some of the memorial service in case you're just now tuning in. This is Deputy Clay Jenkins, Sgt Chris Jenkins' son.
Some people's heroes may wear capes or outfits, but mine had a 7-star badge over his heart on his uniform. He even had 3 stripes on each sleeve. Dad, you were and still are Superman. But Superman is tired, and he's just a little rest. I'll take care of the rest of the race of life. I hope if anything is taken away from today, is that you make sure you hug your loved ones tight and always tell them you love them. As we all know, tomorrow is never promised.
Deputy Clay Jenkins speaking there about his father, saying, I wasn't prepared for how much this hurts. This is the hardest thing I've had to do in my life. Honestly, just incredible just the way he was able to speak up there, and he spoke to each of the pallbearers out there and why they were selected and in the way that they touched his life and what they meant to him, as well as his father, ending every single one with, I love you just like my father does. And it was just pretty remarkable hearing him speak in the strength that he had earlier today.
He said he wants everyone, when they look at him, to see a walking image of Sgt Jenkins, and law enforcement and family will be at the burial. So we're going to continue our coverage here on WVLT News. You can watch our newscast also on live stream as well. And so we're going to continue on with this procession on WVLT News at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, we certainly do. Thank you for sticking with us through all this. Obviously a tough time for all of East Tennessee, especially Loudon County and the Loudon County Sheriff's Office. Thoughts and prayers definitely needed during this time. We'll have more from the memorial service, that procession, everything happening to honor the life of Sgt Jenkins. I'm Harry Sullivan with Casey Wheels. We certainly appreciate you joining us.